All right, so welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's enjoyed the videos that are available. And if you do, real quick, if you don't mind, just leave a like for the videos, maybe a couple of comments. That'll help get some more of that content out there. I want this to be out there to be able to help all technicians with things that we might struggle with on a day-to-day basis. So today I actually want to talk a little bit about just some measuring tools. We're going to start with micrometers, and we'll have some more videos coming out later on some different types of measuring tools. But micrometers seem to be something that's difficult for technicians to read, especially if they don't use them all the time. I see that here, in this job where I'll hand a technician a micrometer and want them to measure something, and their measurements don't turn out correctly because they just don't know how the micrometer works. So what you're seeing right now is a very poorly drawn illustration that I put up here of a standard micrometer. And it doesn't matter if it's standard or metric, they're both going to work the same way. But on that little whiteboard, you see a picture of a 1 to 2 inch micrometer. And let's talk a little bit about how that micrometer works. Like you see here, you kind of see this on screen here. You can see I've put on that illustration, we have a lock that locks the micrometer in place so we don't lose our measurement, so we can get a good reading on it. And here, right here, you see we got a clutch. And this is a clicker style clutch. You always want to use this to tighten your micrometer. You don't want to use the barrel of a micrometer because you could over tighten it and lose your reading could be way off, maybe 1 to 2,000ths of an inch. If you're trying to tighten a micrometer up using this, you always want to use your clutch. And there are different style clutches on different micrometers. Some are friction clutch, some are ratcheting clutch. I prefer the ratcheting clutch. And I do have a couple different types of micrometers out here. This, I don't know how old this mic is. I'm going to guess probably 40 to 50 years old. Has no clutch at all. You'd have to be very, very careful with this one. Make sure you're going to get an accurate reading. It's going to take some getting used to get a feel for something like this with no clutch. Then I have this style micrometer, which I call a cheater, because it's got a screen on it right there, a little analog screen that actually shows you what your reading is. Don't use these style micrometers. I won't let the technicians have these when we're working with the techs because it doesn't teach you anything. It's doing all the work for you. I don't like these. This takes away from our ability to learn and makes us too reliant on that little readout right there. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about how the micrometers work. And we're going to use a standard micrometer. It measures in 1,000ths of an inch increments here. And you can see on the mic that on the barrel of the micrometer, I've got a little bit better illustration down here. I have graduated lines on this barrel. Well, we're starting at 0 here, and every graduated line you see is 25 thousandths of an inch. So 25 thousandths, 50 thousandths, 75 thousandths, then we get to the 100 thousandths of an inch. And on down the line, 25 thousandths, 50 thousandths, 75 thousandths, 200 thousandths of an inch. As far out as that micrometer will read. And in the case of the 1 to 2 inch micrometer that I have here on the table today, let me get this set up where you can see it on the screen. This is a 1 to 2 inch micrometer. So on the barrel, we go all the way up to that 2 inch mark right here. So from here to here with this micrometer fully extended, sorry, my camera skills aren't great. I think that's pretty obvious. From here to here, now I have 2 inches of measurement because I opened this micrometer up as far as it would go. So you can see I've got numbers on the screen, on the barrel right here as well, that go from 0 all the way to 24, right there. That's going to be represented by the numbers on my very poorly drawn illustration here. So we're going to read this micrometer measurement that's on this little whiteboard here. Well, you can see we have a 1 to 2 inch micrometer, so it starts at 1 inch, goes all the way up to 2 inch. So in this case, if we had this measurement, we're looking at our barrel of our micrometer, and we had this measurement right here where the barrel stops. You can see 200 thousandths of an inch, 225 thousandths of an inch, 250 thousandths of an inch. Then my last number I'm going to add is going to be whichever number on the barrel, the additional numbers on the barrel. These numbers right here, the additional numbers on the barrel, is going to get added to 50. Well, then you see the center line on your barrel right here, whichever number lines up with this center line is your last number. In this case, number 7 is lined up. So 1.2, 1 to 2 inch mic, so 1.2, 25, 50, and 7. 1.257 inches would be the measurement in that illustration. So let's actually take a measurement on a brake rotor I have set up over here, and let's see how this would actually work out. So I got an old brake rotor that I just clamped it in the vise to make it a little bit easier here for me to take my measurement. So when I come over here and I get ready to take my measurement, get my micrometer set up here. So as I'm tightening this up, I'm gonna, because the micrometer's flat on both ends, let me show you, get you a good visual on that. This micrometer is completely flat here and here, here and here. An actual brake rotor mic is going to be pointed. I mean, they make micrometers specifically for measuring brake rotors, but the only one I have here is digital, and I don't want to use it because I do not like digital micrometers. Again, I think it's cheating. I think it's taken away our ability to use our brains and read these measurements. So as I'm tightening this up, I'm going to wiggle this back and forth a little bit and continue to tighten so that I know that I'm squarely lined up on both sides of this brake rotor and I've got an accurate measurement. Then I'm going to lock my micrometer in place so it doesn't move on me. You can see I got a 1 to 2 inch micrometer here. Okay. I see my 0 right there. Now past the 0, I do not see any of the vertical lines, the 25 thousandths of an inch marks. So let's look at that one more time over here on the illustration. I can see the 0, but I can't see my first vertical line past the 0, which would be my 25 thousandths of an inch mark. So coming back over here to the mic, I see the 0. Past the 0, you can see my horizontal line right here lined up with this horizontal line that lines up with number 15. So my measurement, being a 1 to 2 inch micrometer, would be 1.015. That's the thickness of this brake rotor, and that's how your micrometer is going to work. If it's a metric mic, you're just going to be measuring in millimeters, but it's going to work the same way. Usually we have 0.5 millimeter increments on metric micrometers. I'll probably put out another video on that later. So if I'm looking at this measurement again, 1 to 2 inch micrometer, I can see the 0. I do not see my next line past the 0, my next vertical line, but my horizontal line on my barrel of my micrometer lines up with this horizontal line right here, which is my 15 thousandths mark. So 1.015. So if I was going to write that out, document that, my measurement would be, it's a 1 to 2 inch mic, so 1.015 inches. So 1/15,000ths of an inch is the thickness of the brake rotor that we just measured using a 1 to 2 inch micrometer. Hope this helps out.